Smith, a.k.a. Modern Renaissance Man, and you're listening to my show, Cancel This. The phone number here is 309-451-9299, and you can also text the show at 309-807-1600. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Everybody out there that's listening to me right now, how are you guys doing? I know you guys were just probably anxious, weren't you? You just probably couldn't wait because I have gotten over 2,500 friend requests since District 87 school board meeting, which means people are absolutely 100% listening and people are 100% behind this. What am I saying all that for? Folks, if you did not attend the District 87 school board meeting, you missed out on something. Now, don't get me wrong. The newspaper, put it out there in a very, very wrong way as if it was a negative interaction. I don't think it was. This is what debates and this is what disagreements is supposed to look like. This is normal, folks. Having disagreements and people saying what they feel is right or what they feel is wrong is what human beings are supposed to do. So, if you missed it, District 87 had a school board meeting where they're going to discuss some of the things that may be hitting the schools and things that also are hitting the schools when it comes to things like critical race theory and also the bill that passed that allows kids to be able to have some type of access to soft porn. Yeah, you heard me. Soft porn is pretty much what it is. At this meeting, I found it really fascinating. If you were not there, I encourage you to come to the next one. I think they canceled the one that's going to be in 2 weeks, but it's supposed to be another one. There's also going to be one, I think, next week for normal. And I encourage people just to come there. Even if you don't have anything to say, just come there to listen to see what the topics are all about. So anyway, to get into this, folks, let me just say to the ones that are listening, whether you are with me or whether you are not, as I mentioned at the meeting, I do not dislike any of you for what you believe. Okay? I do not dislike you at all. I played that game in the religious realm before and I will not do it again. If you feel what you're doing is right for you and your family, then hey, that's on you. And, at the same time, what I feel is right for mine, do not come and try to prosecute me because I feel something is right. Not only do I feel it's right, in my case, I know it's right. So, there were a lot of different perspectives, a lot of different types of attitudes, a lot of different types of behaviors that were displayed there. Some people were being yelled at. Some people were being pointed at. I think I saw one incident where there was a gentleman and that I actually met when I first got there. Hats off to you, sir. He was in line listening and somebody yelled at him and said, "You are an effing a-hole," and beep, 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 something else. And the guy just kind of took it and let him say it. And I just thought to myself, now, wait a minute now. Like, how does things get to a point to where you escalating to where you got to resort to actually calling people names like that? So, better man than me. Couldn't have been me. Yeah, you heard it right. Couldn't have been me. Folks, do not let outlets that won't portray things with an unbiased look try to sit there and turn you into something about things being completely just out of control. That school board meeting was not out of control. The school board meeting was not like uncivil. This is what people do. To me, this was like actually like, it was actually, how can I say it? This is actually like PG compared to things that I've actually been into before. Now, I gotta say this. The high schoolers that were there, if you guys are listening to it, one of you were at my round table. I'm not going to say the name because the thing is I don't want anybody to catch any hate, but she was at my round table before. She spoke her mind at the round table. She also got up and spoke at, District 87, school board meeting. And exactly what she said at school board meeting is some of the things that she expressed to me and amongst her other friends when we had the round table. And the thing is, she will tell you, I've talked to these kids. I do not dislike them. I treat them with respect. In fact, just to let everybody know that's listening to this right now, whenever that school board meeting was over, I made it a point to go over to the high schoolers and I shook their hands and I told them, I said, good job on speaking what you feel is right. That's what I said to them. I didn't say, look here, you stupid, dumb kids. You guys are just dumb and indoctrinated. Folks, I'm going to let you know something that I learned amongst the religious realm. The minute you actually attack somebody saying that somebody is dumb, saying that somebody is stupid, somebody is indoctrinated, you're going to instantly lose them. You will instantly lose them. They don't want to have to hear anything else you got to say. The minute you enter the conversation is, let me tell you something, you high schoolers. You guys are dumb and indoctrinated and you don't know. They're not going to hear anything else you have to say. I promise you, they're not. It's just not going to work that way, folks. It's not going to work that way. When we come together to discuss our differences, we got to come in there with the attitude. Like me, when I go into these conversations, and if you can watch the video, I don't know, somebody had the video recorded. If you watch the video, you will see me listening intently to what some of these high schoolers were saying. Two of them actually turned around and faced the crowd, and you will see me sitting there listening intently into what they're saying. I'm nodding my head along with what they're saying. Not saying I'm not nodding my head saying I agree with them. I'm nodding my head to letting them know that, hey, I'm with you. I'm hearing what you're saying because I don't want to show no disrespect. Speak your piece. Speak what you got to say. Right? That's what we have to do. Some folks, look, I told you I'm unbiased when it comes to truth and righteousness, okay? It was on both sides. There was stuff being said from people that were for it. There was stuff being said to people that were against it while someone else got up and speak, you know? So why do I say that? Why do I say that? I want to let them know that I'm not just shutting down what you're saying. I want to let them know that even if I disagree with what you actually are getting ready to tell me, I want to let you know that I am listening to what you're saying. When I listen to folks, most of the time, one of the important things that we all can learn from each other is this. When you go into a conversation, don't have a mind made up already. Nope, I'm not going to hear nothing you saying. I'm not about to hear anything you're saying. Nope. Don't have that going through your head. Have it going through your head. Let me listen to what this person is trying to say to me. You know, going through conversations like, let me see if this person is going to actually offer something that I do not know yet. And even if I disagree with it, I'm going to take what they said to me and go back and see if I do indeed agree with it. Because I know a lot of times when we get into conversation, the first thing we are thinking about at that moment is reacting. We want to react. I want to react. I know this person is talking to me, but I want to react. I want to react. That's how we usually do. So here's the thing. Now, with that being said, let me let everybody know, whether you disagree with me or not that's listening to this, I love you all. Love you all. But with that being said as well, let me just say this as well. High schoolers, some of you that spoke at this, no one was there to intimidate you guys. No one was there trying to make you guys feel less than any of that. And the reason why I say that is, do not let that try to be an excuse to hearing the truth. Do not let that try to be some type of deflection from hearing the truth that's being brought forth. Because what ends up happening is that people end up focusing on the fact that y'all felt somebody was intimidating you guys, that somebody felt that the adults were there yelling at them, that somebody felt that I don't feel comfortable in this environment. That right there ends up being the focus of the conversation instead of what we were actually there for. So that's why when I said when them high schoolers spoke, I listened intently. Now, with that being said, I'm just being honest. Some of them had absolutely nothing to say at all. I'm just high schoolers. If y'all listening to this, I'm just being real with you. Some of you guys said something, but it actually had no message behind it. One guy got up there and was just like, I wasn't going to say anything, but I just feel that, whenever teachers they teach, they're putting their teachings with the teachings that we can learn. And if we don't learn, then we can't go on. And if we can't go on, then, why take steps? And if we can't take steps, what's the point? I was sitting there like, what is he talking about? I have no idea what it is. I'm sorry, but look, that's what I'm saying. I listened to what he said, but he didn't say anything. Now, somebody will take this right now, and you are boiling right now because, oh my God, look at you. You're making fun of that. I'm not making fun of him. He said it. Listen, for one, let me let you know this too. I do imitations very, very well. So when you hear me saying something that a high schooler said, I am literally imitating what that person did. I am not making fun of them. I'm not trying to bring them down. I am saying it in the demeanor, in the voice that person said it. And that's what he did. And then as this kid got to talking, he paused for a minute. No, it wasn't a minute. It was about 2 minutes. And it was quiet. And when he was doing that, I just looked around the room and I saw people just, they grabbing they're holding their chest and they're deep breaths, just, But I'm sitting there like, what is he getting emotional for? Because I'm trying to figure out what is it that he want to say. And I actually said behind him, I said, go ahead and say what you need to say. Speak what you got to say. I'm encouraging him to do it because I honestly want to know what it is that he had to say. I wanted to know what point it is that he was trying to make. But when it came down to it, there was no point to make with this particular kid now. Because I know folks gonna just get ready to blow the Facebook up like they've been doing with the hate with other folks. But here's the thing. If you're gonna have high school kids, if you listen to this, if you're gonna come into a conversation, some of you guys brought paper, some of you guys brought things that you written down about ways you felt about certain things. I get it. But I'm saying don't just take things that you've read or somebody gave to you to read so everybody can listen to it when you don't even understand the material that you're even bringing. Because some of you guys, I'm not going to say your names that I met afterwards. I talked to you outside. I actually asked you off to the side. Can you explain to me what you actually were saying when you said this? Now I understand that you read this off this piece of paper verbatim, but what does that mean to you? And sadly, 3 of you guys couldn't even tell me. So I'm not saying that somebody gave y'all a piece of paper to say, hey, when you go to the school board meeting, read this off right here. Ooh, read this. Get this off the internet. Read this to those adults and see what they have to say about that. I wanted to know from you individually, what did you feel about it? Folks, you listen to Cities 92.9, my show, Cancel This. We're getting ready to take a break here on Cities 92.9 and News and Talk of Bloomington Normal. What is going on, Bloomington Normal? Hopefully you guys are all having a good day. Hopefully you guys are all enjoying yourself. If you are tuning in, you are listening to Cities 92.9, the News and Talk of Bloomington Normal, and you're listening to my show, Cancel This. I am Ty Smith, aka Modern Renaissance Man. You can call the phone number here at area code 309-451-9299. You can also text the show at 309-807-1600. And before we took the break, I was letting you guys know, which I'm thinking this might end up being like a good chunk of the show, because I feel that since I am in this area, that Bloomington Normal definitely needs to be listening to this, because I think that there are not enough people going out and about and speaking against what we currently have going on with our children. Now, one thing that gets me, I'm one of those type of people that if I'm out with friends, family, whatever like that, there's certain people that'll talk about the things that's going on possibly in our community or things that's going on, within our nation. But that's all it is. It's just conversation. So what I'm saying that for is this. When my sons, as they were growing, when one of my children did something to the other one, my son would come up to me and he would say, Dad, such and such hit me. Okay? Now you have to ask yourself, why did my son come to me and tell me that his brother just hit him? Why did my son want me to know that his brother hit him? You want to know why? Because my son expected me to do something about him being hit by his brother, right? So what I'm saying therefore is this. Why even bring up conversations about certain things that's going on if you have no plans, no intentions on doing anything about it? Why even talk about it? Just because it angers me. It does this to me. Oh man, it just makes me so mad. And I'm like, okay, so then, is this what we do? Or do you just want to have this conversation just to express how mad you are about it? Or are we having this conversation because you want to have something done about it? Same thing with my son. When my son came in, Dad, he did this to me. Now, if I just sit there and say, okay, now how does that make you feel, son? It makes me upset. Now, what's the reason of you telling me? Well, I'm telling you just to let you know that I'm upset that he hit me, Dad. No, he expect Dad to go and do something about this issue that came to him. Folks, you're listening to Cities 92.9, the News and Talk of Bloomington Normal. My name is Ty Smith, a.k.a. Modern Renaissance Man. The phone number here is 309-451-9299, and you can text the show at 309-807-1600. And we have a caller. Caller, you're on Cities 92.9. Hello?
Hello, Ty.
Hello.
I wanted to go to that meeting the other night that you were there.
Uh-huh.
I missed it by a day. I don't know. But I heard it the next day. You did a great job. Now, all these laws that they're going to pass for the schools, is this going to be state or just the city?
I think that's right. For right now, they're trying to making it state. Like that Illinois bill that passed the 818. Yeah, I think that's state.
I mean, who's going to teach us all these classes of what they want to teach?
When it comes to teaching these little kids about anal sex and all that stuff like that, that's going to be taught by whatever grade that is. So we're talking what, third grade? Third, fourth, fifth grade?
Right. I mean, 40 years ago when they were talking about this same stuff, I said, everybody in the room here, all the guys, raise your hand that had to be taught how to masturbate. Hello. And all you got was laughs.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 weeks ago, if you look it up, 3 weeks ago, the Panagraph had a whole article on cancer from anal sex and all this other stuff that's already been done over the years. And think about this, Ty. You get these kids into this stuff, you're going to have children who be raped. You're going to have little boys that are raped.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to have all these little girls, and I want to know who's going to stand good for this. If you as a grown man walked up to two kids and said, here, I want you guys to do this, they're going to lock you up.
Yes, exactly.
But if the school teacher teaches it, I guess it's okay.
Right. You see,
I always used to say I'm going to start a business calling I Beat Your Kids for you. If you beat your kids, it's child abuse. If I beat your children, it's called therapy. You see what I'm saying? As long as I'm licensed to do it, it's okay.
Right.
And you can't even figure out how many rapes in years to come. And I'm talking about, in the city, boys get raped too. The weaker children get hurt. And these people have never dealt with anything in their life. I sure would have liked to have been there for that.
Man.
So I'm looking to see where is that whole entire meeting on the internet?
I'm not sure about that. I know that certain outlets maybe have took their own personal clips. I know that a lot of it was trending on Facebook. But yeah, I don't know. I think if the news was there, they covered bits and pieces that they wanted to, because whenever it came out, like in the newspaper printing, you can tell which side kind of had the leadway, so to speak. You can tell what narrative they were going for. But yeah, it was in the District 87, and there absolutely is going to be another one for which, like how you got cities that are pretty much of the same town, but they're just kind of close to each other. Like, I can just think about, like in this area I'm close to now, like Decatur also has like Decatur Forsyth or Decatur South Shores.
Right.
They got areas like that. So this is the normal, and they're going to have another one that's going to be for Unit 5, the school board meeting, and it's this coming Wednesday night.
And that's in Peoria though, right?
No, this is in Normal. So the area that I spoke at, it was Bloomington.
Oh.
This area is called Bloomington Normal. So they're literally like a town that's together, that's pretty much divided by a line, an imaginary line, but it is not like you have to travel far to get from one to the other.
Okay, and that's this Wednesday then?
Yes.
Okay.
It's this Wednesday.
And you know what time by any chance? Or
think
or
it's
just
this,
call up District 5.
Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, if this one was at 6:30, I'm thinking this one may be around the same exact time. I'm not sure yet. I have to check with, some of my folks that actually know exactly when and where, because I've been invited to come and speak to that one as well, which I plan to do.
Good man.
But it's just that, like,
You're
right.
all right, Ty.
I try.
It's like you and Larry, you know the truth,
Yes.
It's like one of the founders of this country said, if you don't know your history, you're in trouble.
Okay.
And we don't know our history.
Right, exactly. Not true.
No.
It'll be published on the Facebook page. Cities 92.9. If you go to Cities 92.9, the News and Talk of Bloomington Normal, all that information, like what time it's going to start, where it's going to be, is going to be published on that page.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that'd be awesome. If you showed up to that, that'd be awesome to finally, meet you, see who you are and all that, and, let them hear what you got to say. Cause the people that's listening to right now know that you're a frequent caller, and it'd be awesome for them to say, oh, this the guy that comes in and calls in, and him and Ty has a nice little conversation about what's going on now, who absolutely is not afraid to speak up either. That'd be good, man.
I'm not. I'm 77 years old, but I ain't got a damn thing to lose. I've been shot at, stabbed at. I've been hit 17 times in automobile accidents, driving a tow truck, 13 times by drunks and drug addicts, 9.5. I don't worry about nothing.
No, I cannot, man. You being around the areas that I grew up at, I can only imagine. So, yeah, this right here would be like patty cake to us. This would be like kind of, shooting away flies, because the only type of opposition you're going to get is possibly somebody just turning around with their mask on and going, hey. So that's about it.
You know what? Those people, believe it or not, that talk like that, they're crap. They would like to wear a mask all the time.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Think about that. They don't want nobody to know who they are or what they look like.
Yeah, you know what? And I found it interesting at this board meeting as well that, a lot of people are definitely in opposition to this too, that the superintendent would say, state your name and your address. And of course there are people like, you are not getting my address. Some people gave the address. I gave a fake one. So.
Oh, I know. I would never do that. I'm giving my true address, 5226 West Brummel.
Woo. Yeah.
I mean, Ferdinand.
Yeah, that show up there.
Lake and Laramie, that's me.
I forget that little girl named Miranda Lambert. She got a song, Gunpowder and Lead. So if they want to show up.
Man, I run so much to go over there to see you.
Yeah, that would be awesome, man. If you're able to make it, that would be awesome. But
I'm going to be there. I don't care what comes or goes. I'm going to do my absolute best.
Sweet. Well, thank you for calling in. I appreciate the call. Appreciate your words and all that. I really like hearing from you. It'd be awesome to meet you. Folks, we have to take a break here. This is Cities 92.9, the News and Talk of Bloomington Normal. Good afternoon, Bloomington Normal. Hope you guys are all having a good day. Hope you guys are all enjoying yourself. You are listening to my show, Cancel This. I'm Ty Smith, aka Modern Renaissance Man. The phone number here is 309-451-9299, and you can text the show at 309-807-1600. All right, so you guys just heard the last caller that called in. He's a frequent caller. He calls in, speaks his mind on a lot of things, a lot of issues that are going on. He grew up in a rough area, and it's interesting. He's in his late 70s, and he talks about some of the experiences that he encountered. And this man also stayed, he stayed in some of the ran down areas, just like, pretty much similar to what I did. So anyway, you guys, before we took the break as well, you see that we were talking about the things that were going on at this school board meeting. And again, for the ones that are listening, let it be known, I want to emphasize this because people can take things out of context. Because I may disagree with you, that does not mean that I do not like you. It means I just don't agree with what you're saying. That's it. I mean, I may not agree with the way you dress. I may not agree with the car you drive. I might tell you that I feel that if you did this, this would be better for you. When it comes down to it, you are going to make the decision to do what you want to do. And anyway, right? My wife and I have always had this thing to where we've always just worked with kids from a young age and helped push them, through, get into college, help them with certain type of issues they may be facing. And one thing we noticed is that not all kids choose to want to do the right thing. Now, those same kids, well, they're grown-ups now. A lot of them are grown-ups. Those same kids that turn to be grown-ups, we still keep in contact with them. Now, they didn't make the best choices in life. They have it really hard now because of the choices that they made. But the thing is that before those choices were made, we did warn them that certain type of things that you do in life will come with certain types of consequences. Now, some chose to listen. Some didn't. The ones that didn't listen, they had to deal with the consequences that came with it. Now, I didn't turn around and go, now look at that. If you would have listened to what I have just told you, you wouldn't be in this situation, right? I don't have to tell them that. They are reaping the results of the choices that they made, So I'm just saying all that because some people feel that in case, somebody disagree, and I tell people, don't be afraid to have folks disagree with you. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid because the thing is you do not want to live your life based on how you feel people see you. You do not want to live your life based off of how people, you don't want to live your life based on how people see you. You don't want to live your life based on how you may think people see you. Because if you do that, you will not be you. You will be who somebody else feel you should be. You will not be you. Understand. And this is what needs to be taught to you. Disagreements are going to come. disagreements are going to have you kind of feeling possibly offensive because somebody don't want to do things the way you do it. Disagreements will cause you to feel kind of upset that somebody just don't see things the way you do. But you have to understand you are not them and they are not you. You are two different people with two different lifestyles, two different backgrounds, two different outlooks. But rest assured, one thing that's never going to change is truth, is righteousness. That is never going to change. Truth is always going to prevail. Truth is simply truth. Truth is going to reveal things that you may have thought was the truth, but turned out not to be. You listen to Cities 92.9. My show, Cancel This. The phone number here is 309-451-9299. And you can text the show at 309-807-1600. And it sounds like we have a caller. And caller, you're on Cities 92.9. What you got?
Hey, how are you? It's Valerie.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Hey, how are you?
I am always good.
Good, as am I. So I was one of those people on Facebook blowing it up. Really, I wasn't blowing it up. It was being blown back at me.
What are you talking about now?
I'm sorry?
I said, what are you referring to?
The Facebook, your video. You had a video post.
Oh, the video of me speaking at the, okay.
Where you were talking about being a young person with a lunch card.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I got you.
And so it struck me because I know that you were telling a different story, but the story really that came out is what it looks like and feels like when kids are excluded or treated differently. So there's no reason that a school should separate children based on their parents' ability to pay for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Right? All children should be treated the same. That's what equality is. And I thought that what you gave was a very powerful story about the same thing people are fighting against.
Okay.
And so I just found that interesting and fascinating.
Okay.
Because the way that you were telling it, and I thought also that it was interesting, you were talking about third grade, because I'm not sure whether or not most people know that third grade is where bias is developed. And so the thoughts that you had were normal thoughts, because that's what kids are trying to do. They're trying to figure out, what do we value? And those things start setting in at third grade. And so it had nothing to do with whether or not your friends thought differently of you. It had nothing to do with any of that. But there was a system and a policy that decided, unless your parents were paying full rates for lunch, you have to go to the back of the line. And not one child in that line had anything to do with how their parents paid for lunch. And so not one child in that line should have ever been treated differently.
Right.
But what we do, and this is what people don't get. So 2 points I want to make, and I'll let it go. We're talking about what we don't want, but we're not talking about what the baseline is. And so the baseline is, when we treat children differently based on economics, race, religion, any of those things. And when I say different, I mean treating them less than, treating them differently, putting them in a separate line. When we do that, we are teaching inferiority and superiority. Whether or not kids can articulate it, like you couldn't articulate it,
but I sure
as
felt
a third grader, right? You couldn't articulate it as a third grader, but you felt it in your bones.
Yep.
And so you had to grow up to process that. But inside you internalized it as you were being treated differently.
Right.
And we do that in school in many different ways. And so that's the only reason, that was my only original comment around that whole story. But people began, you hate white people, you don't like this, it has nothing to do with what I'm saying. I thought that you gave a very powerful story for why we need to make sure that we are looking and treating children equitably.
Absolutely.
Because even if a child shows up without their books and supplies, that's what their parent couldn't provide. That has nothing to do with the child's intelligence or ability or anything. And so that's what concerns me. And so I've been working with kids for many years, and I'm an adult educator. Mm-hmm. So I'm the person who would come in and educate the adults on how to educate kids. Right? Uh-huh. So I heard your story. So that was the one point.
I got a quick question for you. Do you have you don't have your radio or something turned up? Cause like where you're talking, I'm catching bits and pieces of what you're saying because we keep getting like this weird alien-like feedback.
I just turned it down. Are you still getting that feedback?
Not right now. I'm not. So, okay. I gotta ask you a question really, really quick. You say that you are an educator, right?
I didn't hear you.
You said that you are an educator?
I'm a learning strategist by profession. I'm an organizational learning strategist. So I'm the person that would create an entire philosophy of learning for a system. So
would you be like a perfect person that someone can come and talk to about one of the subjects that we were talking about there was a critical race theory?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But not about critical race theory. It's about,
I got you.
So to understand what I do, I would be the person that talks about how any of this are going to impact learning.
Mm-hmm. Are you still there? Hello? Hello? Miss Valerie? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Oh, we lost her. Guys, that was Valerie, and you just got done hearing what she said. She made a really good point about how that incident that I told you guys about the school card, how it actually made me feel, but I wasn't actually able to, as a third grade, I wasn't able to articulate it, but I was able to feel it. And she says she is an educator strategist to this, and it would be very, very interesting to actually just be able to sit down with you one day, Valerie. I might just have you on my YouTube channel to give some points. It'd be interesting to get your take on a lot of this stuff that is coming in, especially when it comes to the critical race theory or this bill that passed that allowing certain ages to be taught about certain things in regards to sex, because I don't know how. No, I would lie. I was going to say I don't know how that works, but I know how it works. But I would like to hear how those type of things make it to a person like you. If you're still listening, Val, I would like to know how that made it to your table. But folks, we have to take a break here. Next on the show, we may have another caller on the line right here. You listen to Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. What is going on, Bloomington Normal? Hope you guys are having a good day thus far. I am Ty Smith, aka Modern Renaissance Man, and you're listening to my show, Cancel This. The phone number here is 309-451-9299, and you can text the show at 309-807-1600. And before we took the break, we had a caller that was on the line, Miss Valerie, who is a educator who offered some of her advice and what she got out of the conversation that was had at District 87. It seemed like she was about to add some more to it, but I don't know. It seems like, I guess, folks, if you're listening to this right now, if you're on a cell phone, I don't know why, but it makes it a little difficult. If you have your radio on in your car or in your home and you have a cell phone, we get a lot of feedback. It sounds like aliens are invading or something. It's a weird sound. So be sure to do that if you plan on calling in from a cell phone. And just want to throw that out there to you guys. So, the next thing I want to move on to is this. During that meeting, I keep on referring to the high school kids because I think they're at a very important, stage in their life. And I just want to say this. So the high schoolers are fine with little kids being taught pretty much soft porn. But then they got upset because they felt that the adults were making remarks when they spoke. What am I getting at? There were some high schoolers that said things like, here we are, we're just high schoolers, and you guys are the adults, and we're up here trying to say this, and you guys are behind us saying that. So wait a minute. You wanted that to be the focus. You wanted to say the adults behind us are saying things, and they're supposed to be the adults, but the subject was about teaching kids. Yes, I said kids. Well, in the 7th and 8th grade, they're really not kids, they're kids. About oral, anal, and vaginal sex. If that was the subject at hand and all you kept doing is referring back to, well, the adults were yelling at us and they made us feel, no, that's not what we're talking about. You're okay with little children learning about these different things, but you felt intimidated by the adults that were there. You're okay with the fact that me, as a black man who read critical race theory, I know who the two authors are of, and it's indeed a theory. Listen, folks, it is a theory. A theory. You do know there is more than one kind of theory. But it is indeed what it said. It is a theory. That does not mean that it is true. So with that being said, pay attention to the conversations at hand. One high schooler turned around, which was cool of him. He turned around, he said something that's really true. He said we need to have a conversation about these things. Yes, we do. We need to have a conversation about this. But no conversation can be had if you keep on deflecting to somebody saying it mean or somebody making remarks or the adults and no. See, I'm sorry. I'm talking to y'all as if y'all are my kids. The kids that I deal with in certain situations, I'm acting like I'm talking to the high schoolers right now. If you were in my home right now, I'm not going to sit here and patty cake nothing for you. I'm not going to beat around the bush or nothing for you. I'm going to give it to you straight up because I know that you got a future ahead of you. I know what lies ahead of you. I know what you're getting ready to have to face. So I'm not about to sit here and sugarcoat and patty cake nothing on there for the sake of your feelings. I'm not going to do that. When my sons were little, I did things that hurt their feelings, but it did not keep me from keeping my sons from me telling them the truth. Dad, can I get a phone? No. Well, why? Boy, for one, I don't have to tell you why I'm getting you a phone. If you want a phone, when you get a job, get older, buy your own phone. And you hurt my feelings. I don't care about hurting your feelings because I'm not going to keep you from the truth. The truth is, you as a kid, you don't need a phone. But I do because all my friends, I don't care what your friends have. You do not need a phone. You may want a phone, but you do not need a phone. So, okay, let's talk about this, son. Since you really feel you want a phone, you feel you need a phone. Tell me why you need a phone and why do you need a phone right now? Why do you need a phone? Well, because if I'm out somewhere, then how can I get a hold of you? Well, where would you be that I don't know where you at that place don't have a phone? Well, if we're at the mall with my friends, every store in the mall has a phone, son. So if something happens, you can use one of the phones in the mall. And didn't you tell me that all your friends got a phone? Yeah. Well, then you can use one of their phones. So that's what I'm saying. We sat down. Yes, even though the ultimate answer was going to be up to Dad, and I told them no to a phone. But the thing is, I gave them the truthful reasons and meanings why they did not need a phone. They didn't need a phone. He wanted a phone, but he did not need a phone. What are you saying all that for, Ty? Because the conversation that was had at the school board meeting, although there were some that felt that they needed something, the ultimatum of it is the truth. The truth is, in the end, when this all said and done, no one in the real world, high schoolers, listen to me. No one in the real world, when you go out there and become an adult and got to go work, no one in the real world is going to care about your feelings. Your job is not going to care. Wake up and don't come to work for 5 days and tell them that you didn't feel like coming. Watch what happened to you. You're going to get fired. And I guarantee you there ain't going to be your teachers. There is not going to be no group of supporters that's going to be behind you that's going to sit there and go before your job and stand outside in a picket line and sit there and protest you getting fired. You got fired because you did not come to your job and your job does not care how you feel. I've been married for 20 years. You think I wake up feeling married? Married is not a feeling. Married is a state of being. It's not a feeling. I don't wake up every morning, oh, my wife. Oh, she don't wake. I guarantee you my wife don't wake up going, oh, my husband. Some days I know my wife like, I cannot stand you. That's reality right there, folks. That's reality. If we did things based off of how we feel all the time. Oh, wait a minute. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, some of the people that are out there in the society, whether they're high schoolers or some adults, you see a result of what feelings look like when it's actually manifested. Just a bunch of folks running around hollering about their feelings. Your feelings does not mean that it is factual. Your feelings do not mean that because it's hurting you or making you upset, it does not mean because you feel bad and disagree with somebody that it makes it true. Truth does not care about your feelings. Facts don't care about your feelings. Reality does not care about your feelings. So when you get out there in the real world and have to face real people Real adults? You think your feelings going to be like something they're going to take into consideration? No. Your job says, I need you to come here to work 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 or 8:30 to whatever. That's what your job is going to require you to do. Tell your job you don't feel like it. Matter of fact, I got 2 sons right now. Let my sons sit there and tell me, I don't feel like I'm going to listen to you while I'm in your house anymore. They're going to be led right to that front door. Right to the front door. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a commercial break. More for the show when we come back. I'm Ty Smith. You listen to my show, Cancel This, on Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. What is going on, Bloomington Normal? Things are getting gravy up here. You are listening to my show, Cancel This. I am Ty Smith, aka Modern Renaissance Man. You can call the show at area code 309-451-9299, and you can also text the show at 309-807-1600. And before we end the show, I know there's some people, because I can see it buzzing on this little feed, some people are like, oh my God, what is wrong with that guy? Did he seriously sit there and say these things about his children, about his sons, about what he wouldn't let them do? You're darn right I did, because I am a parent. One thing, folks, you need to understand this. Truth does not know any color. So when truth and righteousness is being spoken forth, it's for every race, every nationality. Truth is. And one thing I will not do, and I'm going to refuse to do, is not stand on those principles. I'm not going to sit there and change anything about me once I find the truth out about something. Now, let me tell you guys this. I found it so interesting, and I'm just telling you straight up, that after the school board meeting, I guess I'm not saying that it went viral, but it went crazy on Facebook and other streams of me speaking at the school board meeting. Let everybody that's listening to me right now, let me let you guys know something. I do not need anyone's validation. I do not need anyone's affirmations. I do not need anyone's praises. I don't need anyone claps. I'm not saying that because people did that. What I'm saying that for is because what I do with young folks, with adults, when I counsel people, when I minister to people, whether it's through physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, when I do these things, I don't do that for the praises of man. I don't do that to get no validation from anyone. Why are you saying that? Because I just want to let y'all know I do what I do because I absolutely 100% love people. I want the best for people. That's why I do what I do. I do these things because the only person I'm worried about being pleased with me is God. I can care less about the ones that listen to me right now. If I met you, shook your hand, talk with you, had conversations, I kid you not. Yes, it's okay. It's okay. Cause it's something that we naturally do. Somebody do something, we applaud them. We praise them. I get that. But I'm just letting y'all know I don't do what I do for that. There are people that do it for that reason. Politicians anyway. Yeah. Politicians, I know people do that. I don't do things to please. I don't do what I do to please people. I don't sit there and hold truth from you because I'm afraid it's going to hurt your feelings. No, because I know it's going to be beneficial to you in the long run. Truth is truth, right? A lie is a lie. And what's going to be coming towards our school systems and all the stuff like that, it's a theory. But that theory is a lie. It is a lie. It's somebody's theory. If I come up with a theory myself right now and try to get it published and they say we're going to be teaching on the theory of Ty Smith, and if people come in opposition to that, I'm going to invite them to do it. Why not? Not everybody thinks like I think. Not everybody do what I do. And it's okay. But that's what I'm saying. We cannot sit there and let things come into our school systems and the school teach it as it is indeed factual. Somebody did make a good point there. One of the kids that spoke at one of the high schoolers said Christopher Columbus did not discover America. And I completely agree with that. I used to say it all the time. Logically, how can something be discovered that already had people on it? I know we got taught this in school. I mean, I'm just being real. The way they taught that in school made it seem like no human beings lived in the United States of America. And Christopher Columbus went to go discover if the earth was round or flat. He went out and about and he didn't know where he was going and he happened to land in America, which I had a hard time believing that. I was a kid getting in trouble. I will never forget it. I will never forget it. My principal in the school called Roosevelt in Decatur, Illinois, my principal name was Mr. Franklin. I got in trouble and sent down to him because I argued back with my history teacher when I told her that does not make sense to me. I don't believe that. How can Christopher Columbus, who was a master navigator, did not know where he was going? Was that his first time ever sailing? I asked questions like that. So the high school that brought that up, I agree with that. I agree that Christopher Columbus didn't discover America because they already had people in it. I get that. I totally get that. See? But in school, we were taught as if Christopher Columbus was the first person, almost like he was the first person to ever use a freaking boat and sail and all that. And he was going to see if the earth was flat or round and think it was going to fall off the edge. And all of a sudden he thought he was going to India and he happened to land in the Americas. And all of a sudden he got there and he the one to name the people the Indians. What did the Indians call themselves? That's how I thought. And I still think like that to this day. And people get completely ticked off because if they come with me with what they believe is a certain type of truth and I begin to question those truths, they get mad, just like my teacher did. Go down to the principal's office. I'm like, I'm just asking questions. No, you're disrupting class. I thought that you said if anybody have questions, raise your hand. I raised my hand and you couldn't answer it, so I just want to know why. You said that Christopher Columbus discovered America and you said it was such a surety, Miss Bradbury, so can you tell me how did he discover America with people already there? Well, you're just trying to stir up. No, I'm seriously asking you. See, that's what I'm saying. Don't deflect from the fact that I'm asking you these questions. And that's what people do a lot. You can sit there and push this thing out. Like they were saying at this meeting. There were some that saying, I'm so glad that my teacher taught me about critical race theory. Your teacher can teach you all day about critical race theory, but if you have not gone amongst black people and been in their shoes and been in the hood and been in these places that they lived and they come from, then you're not being taught that. That's not the truth. That's somebody's theory. Me going through the things that I went through, there is a lot of black people that went through things that I went through similarly, right? But that does not mean that is the black experience. It does not mean that is the black culture. But for the ones that like to do a lot of virtue signaling, oh my God, my heart hurts for the black community. They're so disenfranchised. They're just so, well, how about, this tripped a lot of high schoolers up. I'm not going to say their names, but 4 of you guys know. I sat there and asked you. I said, hey, I can pick any weekend. If your parents are okay with it, I don't know how old you are, 18, whatever, but I'm just saying, if your parents agree to it, I will take you to the areas that I grew up at. And I got people there that I know. I got some family still there. I got friends I grew up with. They will let you come and stay a weekend with them. Would you like to do that? Well, no. Wait a minute. You just said you have a heart for the black people. You said they're so disenfranchised. You really care about them. You want to make a difference. Well, how come you don't want to go down there and see the living conditions? Oh, you want to see it from afar. Oh, you want to see it because what the news is telling you. Oh, that's all you want to see, but you don't want to go down there and actually experience it. See, it's a whole different ball game to be able to talk about something and stand for something that you've never experienced. Not saying that you're not right about it. But what I am saying is that you can do all this virtue signaling, make it seem like you're just so for the black people and, oh my God, my white privilege and, my white privilege allows me to, well, since you feel so much bad about black folks, I told them, you don't have to worry, you will be safe. I will stay there with you over the weekend. But let's go down there to the hood and see what the black people that's in these conditions right now, the ones that you so-called care about, let's see what they think about what you feel about critical race theory. They will look you right in your face and say, that is some absolutely BS. They will sit there and look you in your face and say, what's keeping me down right now is the fact that my dad is not here, the fact that I'm in a single parent home with my mom, where I might not be with mom. I live with my grandma because my mom had me at a young age. She was a kid herself. My grandma is raising me. My grandma is in her late 60s and 70s. She don't know anything about what critical race theory is. She don't even know what it even means. All she says is, baby, when you go to school, make sure you learn in good grades. But grandma don't really know what's being taught at school to you. So you don't have that parental interaction. You don't have real parents that's sitting there saying to you, what are they teaching you in school? What are they talking about in school? And to me, I feel that whatever is behind this, they know, because if 70% of blacks don't have a father in the home, and of that 70%, a huge percentage of that, the mother herself most likely is not really taking care of her kids. She's leaving them with grandma. That means they are going to be open to whatever the school tells them. Plain and simple. That's the real deal right there. So anyone out there listen to me right now, if you are white and you sit there and talk about, you want to sit there and stand up for black people, you want to sit there and wear your Black Lives Matter and everything like that, how much does the Black Life matter to you? Because you are out there marching and got your fist in the air and all that, that does not mean nothing to us no more than any politician when it comes time for elections and it comes time for voting to come around, them sitting there saying, act like they're a part of us. Well, we're standing up for the black people. The black people are tired and we're going to do this. We're going to fix that. We're going to do this. And black people behind them clapping. Nothing ever changes. You've been racially pimped. That's what happened. You got straight racially pimped. You got racially played. You know what players do? Players fill your ear with all kinds of nonsense. Players will fill your ear and tickle your ear. They'll tell you everything you want to hear. Players will only come around when they only want something out of you. And when they get what they want out of you, they are done with you. Don't believe me? Look at Black Lives Matter right now. Look at one of the leaders of Black Lives Matter right now. She stepped down. Oh, I thought she was going to be there the whole time with you guys, huh? Look what she did now. She took the millions of dollars that y'all so freely gave to her and did not do nothing to help nobody. Is anybody talking to Breonna Taylor mom right now? Y'all remember that? Say her name. Say her name. Go talk to Breonna Taylor mom right now. She'll say Black Lives Matter did not give us a thing. They sat there and exploited my daughter is what they did. I told y'all that that's what they was going to do. I recognize this type of talk. I recognize when folks sit there and fill your head with a bunch of nonsense because all they're doing is trying to get what they want out of you. And once they get that, they're going to kick you to the curb. You can't even find them right now. She said she contacted the chapters all around there. They don't want to have nothing to do with Breonna Taylor mom. But folks are, we're tired of this. We're tired of black folks getting killed. We're tired of them killing us. But guess what? The very same people that's screaming that, the very same people that's going around hollering Black Lives Matter, along with the organization, her mom is trying to contact them and they cannot get no help from Black Lives Matter. So the Black Lives Matter leader, she steps down. Got all them houses, huh? She used y'all money to buy them. Oh, no, she didn't. She her book, oh, BS. She used the money that you guys donated and got her some $1 million homes. And now, guess what else? She spent the tons and tons. She spent thousands to build something called a wall. Oh, wait a minute. Time out. If I recall, isn't she the one that said, oh, not just she. Wasn't everybody riding this whole wave? When Donald Trump said, we're going to build a wall. We're going to keep out the illegals. We're going to build a wall. It's going to be big. It's going to be beautiful. You guys said walls are racist. Well, guess what? This very lady that you guys put up on the pedestal that said Black Lives Matter, she went and bought a house around nothing but white people. All white people. I thought Black Lives Matter. She didn't buy it nowhere near no black folks. She bought it where a bunch of white people stayed. And not only that, she built herself a wall. Folks, we're going to take a break here. More from the show when we come back. I'm Ty Smith. You're listening to Cancel This on Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. Wagwan people. Hope you guys are having a good day. You are listening to Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. I am Ty Smith, aka Modern Renaissance Man. Phone number here is 309-451-9299, and you can text the show at 309-1600. And I needed that little bit of a break because y'all saw, I'm at a point now, I just can't allow, I'm just not going to do it anymore. My sons are 19 and 17, and they're grown men right now. Yes, yeah, well, one of them, yeah, grown men physically. I'm not saying that they're mentally, but they're grown men. The reason why I'm saying that is because one day my son's going to plan to get married to a woman, and they're going to have grandchildren one day. And my sons already know, well, for one, I know my sons speak up about truth and righteousness as well, but they're going to be like, well, at least we know that at least they know that their children is going to have a fiery grandfather. So why am I saying all that? Because I get real passionate about people. I absolutely love people. I'm in medicine for a reason. I love helping people. I genuinely love helping people. I genuinely love seeing people getting better mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I absolutely love that. There's no better satisfaction in the world to me than seeing people do better. There's kids that me and my wife, we've counseled. There's people that we've actually helped get into school. And when you see these kids turn out to do right and do things themselves and they start their own families and things like that, it makes you proud. Good buddies of mine right now that I've talked to, we both come from the same type of background. I remember spending night over at my friend's house. I'm not going to say his name yet because he hasn't given me permission, but he knows. He listens to me. But this guy, me and him, we were spending night over each other's house. I remember spending night over his house, and their refrigerator, there was no power in the house. And his mom would put like ice in the refrigerator from like, she would go to like a store or something like that. She would put ice in the refrigerator at the bottom just because so that ice can keep things in there cool. And I remember, joking around with him saying, yeah, man, we eating some warm milk with Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You know, and that's mainly all he ate a lot was a bunch of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And when I spent out over his house, I remember candles being lit. Me and him both used to sit there and talk about, hey man, we get older, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have families. We're going to get us a girlfriend. We're going to get us a wife. We're going to have some kids, and we're going to get these jobs, man. We used to sit there and talk about things like, yeah, see that guy right there in that magazine right there? Yeah, that's how we're going to be looking one day, man. Yeah, we're going to have our suits, man. We're going to be dressed up. We're going to be looking good. And guess what? Both he and I did exactly what we intended to do. He didn't give me permission to say his name, but I want to shout his name out so bad. But he didn't give me permission. But he knows exactly what I'm talking about. This guy is doing really well right now. I think he got like 5 boys. 5 boys. Doing real well. Bought himself a house. Bought another house already for his sons to actually stay in. He has his sons already to the extent to where once they get older, he's having them to where if they go to college, he's saying great. But at the same time, he's saying, letting his sons know that the importance is actually doing things that you're going to be happy with. So he bought them a house because he said, if my sons go to college, I want them to be able to come and stay in this house so they won't have any debt. If they go into an apprenticeship, I want them to be able to save up money. You know what I'm saying? These are the type of things that a lot of folks don't talk about. These are things that, that people just don't like to hear. And what do you mean, Ty? What do you mean don't like to hear? This is my friend of mine. He's black. Mixed. I got another friend, black. Me, I'm black. The reason why I'm bringing this up is this. It just completely amazed me. A lot of stuff that people at the school board meeting, District 87, since I was the only black person there, if you saw the video, except for the ones that were on the school board, it may have been one person, a little girl behind me. I don't remember. I think it was just a little girl behind me. But my point is saying is this. There were people that clapped their hands and praised what I said. And would you believe they caught a lot of hate for doing that? They caught a lot of hate because I said only what you guys don't even know. That's not even a 16th of things that I experienced in life. But these white folks, they clapped their hands. They said like, woo, they cheered you on for things that you went through because I got up there and I spoke the truth. And the truth is, anyone that's in America, if you are born in the United States, you have opportunity to do whatever you want to do. Period. Nothing can stop you from doing what you want to do at all. That was my whole message there. And what got me is the fact that this theory that's going to be taught to these kids almost want to imply that there's a force there that's keeping them from doing it. When the meeting was over, they let me get up there and speak one more time. I had my hands open looking at every white face in there and was asking them, can they point me to the systemic racism? Can they point me to it? And I know I already, and I spoke for them because a lot of them say, oh, it's everywhere. I don't see this. I'm saying, you know what to say. You know how to rebuttal and answer by saying, just look around. If it's that simple, then why can't you show me? If I sat here and said, man, I have a Lamborghini. If you said to me, well, show me. And I said, man, look, Lamborghinis are everywhere. Okay, but show me. Since you're so sure that you have one, I want you to show me. If you are listening to me right now and you disagree with what I'm saying, you don't necessarily have to call in, but I would love for you to call it the CS 92.9, give your name. I would love to sit down and meet with you so you can take me to the systemic racist God that I may meet that person or persons or deity or entity, and they can show me, here it is. And it's so funny because I understand y'all sit there and say, and I say y'all, I'm talking about white people. You say that it's embedding you, which, if you listen to this right now, one lady's pretty much said that she was a racist. I mean, she pretty much said that she was a racist. She said racism is in every white person's DNA. It's like it's in our infrastructure, what our forefathers did. So racism is just a part of every white person. So I'm like, so you just admitted that you're racist. Is that what you're saying? Well, no, that's what you just pretty much got done saying that you yourself is racist. And yet you got a Black Lives Matter mask on. I mean, guys, this is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like when it comes down to it, the people that come from certain type of backgrounds like I do, like I did, your words does not mean a thing at all. When all you're doing is, I'm standing up for the black people. I march with the black people. So what? Big deal. But what are you actually doing to help me? What are you actually doing to help me in the situation that I am in right now? What are you doing? Because you're talking and making yourself look good amongst the other white people or making yourself look good amongst black people is complete BS to us. I still got to go back home. I still got to go deal with possibly getting shot. I still got to go back home and possibly deal with being molested by an uncle, by an older cousin, by a babysitter. I still got to go back home and figure out if I'm going to eat. What am I going to have to eat? I still got to sit there and act like I don't have to, like, oh yeah, guys, because I'm an athlete, I still got to sit there and act like I'm just trying to eat healthy, but I'm asking for you guys' milk and your apples because that's the only thing I'm going to have to eat when I get home. That's what I got to go home and deal with. So you getting up and doing all I'm standing for the black people and, I'm marching with them, my fists in the air. That does not mean nothing to me if you are not helping me out, period, as an individual. Folks, more of the show when we come back. You listen to Cities 92.9, the News and Talk of Bloomington Normal. I'm Ty Smith. Peace. What's going on, Bloomington Normal? Hope you guys are all enjoying your day and hope you guys are enjoying this show. I'm feeling the love from you out there, Bloomington. I'm getting a lot of blow-ups on my phone, a lot of things coming in on Facebook. Appreciate the love. Folks, you listen to Cities 92.9, the News and Talk of Bloomington Normal. I'm Ty Smith. You listen to my show, Cancel This. The phone number here is 309-451-9299, and you can text the show at 309-807-1600. And before we took the break, you guys heard me talking about this thing that a lot of people do where they feel like they're standing up for black folks and they're out there marching with them. But when all reality comes, we need the real help. You know what I'm saying? If you were down there in somebody's face and helping them out, that's where the real help come in. But right now the phone is buzzing off like crazy. So we're going to answer that. You are on Season 92.9. Who am I speaking with?
I'm speaking with Greg Eggs. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Mr. Greg?
All right.
What would you like to add to this? What would you like to add to all this that's going on, sir?
I have a lot to discuss about kids knowing about being taught about sexuality at a young age. Kids have enough pressure going on them right now. So why add this extra pressure on them to make decisions when decisions is already hard to make anyway?
Right.
You have a person being taught about something that they shouldn't even be looking in that direction. I was in a barbershop the other day, and I was getting my hair cut, and we brought this subject up. And the barber said his kid at 5 years old was caught on the phone looking at Pornhub.
Pornhub?
Yes. Little kids are so super duper smart when it comes to these phones. So why is a kid looking at Pornhub with multiple searches?
Whoa.
Yes.
Wow. 5 years old, and now you got to ask, like, how would he know to even do that?
That's right. Because, see, we are a product of our environment. So when kids are now, it's okay to sit down with their mom and dad and watch shows with sexual content in it, they becoming now numb to it. You know, they tap into emotions and feelings that should not even be tapped into until they're a certain age.
Wow. Good point there.
You know, so you have kids looking at other little kids who may not be advanced, and now those little kids is going to be looked at as a sexual predator at a young age. This is another pipeline to the prison system, to getting people caught up in the system at a young age so they can be labeled.
Wow. See, I'm glad that you made that point right there, because when I spoke at the meeting, I flat out said that you can sit there all day long and make it seem like that this is some sort of type of education thing that you're doing. I said, but those behavior attitudes is going to be reciprocated in those kids. So 10 years from now, when you got a bunch of little super heightened sexual preteens going around doing these things that they're doing, who's going to be to blame for that?
Oh, right. At that particular time, they're going to say that they should be looked at as a person who should know better, even though they don't know better because their mind has been trained in the way to think in a certain way.
So, would you say that by them, see, this is what okay, Mr. Greg, my sons were in school. I didn't let my sons have this. And the reason why, because I said, when I look at the whole meat of the story, when I look at the whole moral of the story or the plot, when I see that it actually is not teaching my son about sex, what it is teaching you how to have sex. It's not teaching, because if that's the case, there's nothing anatomy and physiology. I've had like tons and tons and tons. I had to do like 3 cadavers. I had extensive stuff on anatomy and physiology. But when you talk about things like in the 1st and 2nd grade, when you talk about, okay, the topic is, what you think about this? I think in this bill that's passed in Illinois, they say like the topic is going to be about sex, right? But within that topic is the word they're going them to understand and discuss is consent. Why would consent be talked about with kids? Consent under the topic of sex? Why would that even be in the, that just blows my mind.
The reason why, you see, it's more smoke to that media. You see all the smoke behind it. You see, it's teaching those people who have the belief on whatever sexual gender that they choose and the lifestyle that they choose. They want to put that onto the kids and make it sound like it's a smorgasbord and they have options. The bottom line, they have options, but you should allow the kid to be a kid, to be able to learn and know themselves. It's hard for grown folks to know themselves sometimes at an older age. So how are you a kid gonna know themselves at 5 years old, 6 years old, and 9 years old?
Right. Now, what gets me too about that is, do you feel and think that because of this, that if this thing is being taught like this at such a young age, that there may be kids that may be touched on inappropriately by, let's just be real, by family members, by uncles, by babysitters, they might be touched on, and because it's taught in school in this way, the kid might begin to think, oh, there's nothing wrong with this, because shout out to Becky Swan, she brought a book to this District 87 meeting, and on the front of the book, the title of it said, "It's perfectly normal." So, what?
That's the part that they say. It's just crazy. You can have cake and ice cream and everything in between. You want to tell people now, there's a lot of sexual predators out there. And people who prey upon people who has very little understanding or understanding in the wrong way. And so now you have a kid who heard something that don't understand the complete definition on how it should work, and allow somebody to touch them and feel on them in a way that now they saying, in their mind, they don't have to come to mom or dad and tell them about it.
Say it again.
They don't have to come to mom or dad and tell them about it, because every little kid want to feel a sense of independence.
And
I know how to do it. That's okay. I got it.
Right.
Now, they're going to go ahead and take it in that direction and wind up understanding later on down the line that why are this kid having such a problem relating to society in a way that we have so-called perfect the way that we should think.
Man, that's really, really good. And you know what I thought about too is that during this meeting, I don't know if you heard it, but I'm pretty sure you can see a lot of it on Facebook, or if you go to Cities 92.9, you can see some things from this District 87 meeting. It really just kind of made me just kind of I'm not saying that it made me upset or nothing like that, but it made me feel kind of like, whoa, like what was that? Because one in particular kid, I remember his name, but I'm not going to say his name. He know who he is. He said that teachers should be the one teaching students about sex, and he said, and not the parent. He said, because that's weird. And that was his excuse, was that parents.
That's weird. That's weird for even calling the word weird. You know what I'm saying? That's I don't know if that person has whatever. I don't know if they had a daddy issue or a mama issue, but the bottom line, why would you want your teacher coming from a whole different environment, a teacher who just comes in, and clocks out, okay, teaching you when their life is most likely it's not perfect. Nobody's life perfect. And so where they fall short, they want to give that answer to you without any recourse of checking against the checks and balance on what should be and what shouldn't be.
Right. So, you know, I just see, and I mean, like I said, cause I'm all about truth, man. I'm all about truth. And the thing is, truth, I always say truth and righteousness has no colors. When it comes down to it, it's not about, you know, it's not about black people, white people, red people, pink people. It's all going to come down to the morals, and behind morals is truth. How come it's like, you know, we sit there and we say things like, a lot of kids that like done some of the most horrific things we know, from the Jeffrey Dahmers to the Timothy McVeigh to a lot of these folks you see, when you see their history and they actually talk to a psychiatrist, they'll say something like, I was sexually abused at a young age. But now you want to turn around and say, well, hey, that's perfectly normal. So if it's perfectly normal, then why is the things that happen to these kids at a young age turning them out to be like serial killers, like just completely, like Jeffrey Dahmer ate people? But he sit there and say, this stemmed from when I was sexually abused and da-da-da-da-da. But then, they're going to try, well, it's perfectly normal for somebody to touch you as long as you consent to it. But look at the consequences, though. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay.
Major consequences.
Man, it's like, if you eat a bunch of sweets and Twinkies and stuff all day long, you say, I don't know why I'm fat. Come on, man. You can't do that. Well, somebody say, look, hey, it's perfectly normal to eat 9,500 calories a day. It's perfectly normal now. With that comes, see what I'm saying? We know that with obesity and all this stuff, you know, you're gonna possibly have diabetes, high blood pressure. You're gonna have like possible heart issues, heart disease, coronary heart failure, cystic. You're gonna have a lot of stuff to come with it. Now, what if we took that in medicine right now and said, no, eating all this bad stuff, it's perfectly normal. But then yet, no matter what, the body is still going to manifest the consequences of eating that type of way.
And that's true. And the way you think has plays a major part on how you control and manage your emotions. And see, that is like you're saying, like the medicine. You see, cause you treat one thing, but it affects the multiple other things.
Yep.
And teaching a kid about sex education at this time when they should be playing, having fun.
Yes.
Looking up to mama and daddy.
Yes.
Taking a look at their aunties and their uncles. And if the parents realize that their aunties and uncles is not good representations of what they should be, make sure that those kids in the Boys and Girls Clubs, different organizations, so that they can have some good role models around them so that they can be able to know who and what they would like to be.
Yes. Absolutely. Man, Mr. Greg, appreciate you calling in. I hope you call in again. Would love to hear from you again, man, and get a whole bunch of different perspectives. Really, really appreciate that. Hope we can hear from you soon. Appreciate it.
Will do. Love.
Much love back to you, sir. Folks, you just heard that. We got people that's calling in. You heard what Mr. Greg just expressed right there about these different type of things, and this is coming from a whole different person's perspective. And that's what I'm saying. I think I mentioned this at the meeting. It seems like human beings, I said this before, and I'm going to keep on saying it again until it gets stuck in a lot of folks' head. We seem to be like the only species that really don't even care about our children. You know what I mean? We seem to just, and it's funny that they actually call what can be in the animal kingdom, things that hunt, we call them predators, right? And animals that are usually considered to be prey, all of a sudden it seems like a switch goes on and they start to protect their children from predators. But what are we doing? Folks, we're going to take a break here. More of the show is next. I'm Ty Smith and this is Cancel This on Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. Bloomington Normal. Hope you guys are listening. Hope you guys are tuning in. I'm Ty Smith, a.k.a. Modern Renaissance Man, and you're listening to my show, Cancel This. The phone number here is 309-451-9299, and you can text the show at 309-807-1600. And we just got off the phone, had an excellent caller that called in, gave his input on a situation that we're talking about here, and you can see, folks, a lot of people are not buying this. Man, you ever heard that little segment called Enough is Enough? I think we have gotten beyond that because people are, not only are people speaking out, but people are speaking out in anger, people are speaking out in passion. And that's what we need to do. What do you think is going to happen when, like the video that people are pushing around about what I did, because apparently it caught the attention of the NAACP as well. But what do you think people are going to do when they see this? What do you think children are going to do when they see this? Are they going to see, oh man, that guy is angry? Or are they going to see, oh, that guy seems like he's upset about something, that what is he trying to protect? What type of protector am I to display? If someone comes and tries to do any type of harm to my family, do you have any idea what type of mindset my sons are in right now that they would think? I can tell you right now, I don't even have to speak for them. I might have my sons up here one day to do an interview here. If you was to say something to my sons like, hey, what you think your dad would do if somebody tried to harm you? They were like, oh my God, my dad would. See what I'm saying? How do my sons know that I have that type of response? How do my sons know that I have that type of protection about them? How do they know that? What am I doing that's displaying to my son? Because I never once sat down and say, son, if anybody tries to do any type of harm to you, me as your dad, I've never done that. My son's seen situations where things like that may have come at them and they seen how dad responded. So my sons have the utmost confidence that if any type of harm comes towards their way, without a shadow of a doubt, they know dad before mom. Y'all can say mom bear all you want to him, and I know y'all got that in there, but you, the daddy bear, silverback gorilla, man, the male lion, I'm coming in bringing the heat. Plain and simple. I cannot stand for one when people try to do things to innocents. The Bible is definitely the utmost important thing in my life, and God is. And when he says things like he hates hands that shed innocent blood, what's more innocent than a child? I'm not talking about abortion, so don't even go there. I'm talking about the innocence of a child. The innocence of a child. Folks try to sit there and deflect from this conversation and want to focus more on the fact that adults are intimidating us and they might be yelling at us. They're making remarks while we're talking. And now let me make this clear as well. There was a kid that got up there and he obviously had a speech impediment. Nobody was making fun of him. So that's what I'm saying. Don't do things like that, high schoolers. Come on now. Don't do that. You guys know full blown well nobody in that row made fun of that kid and got up there and spoke. Now, just like anything else, this is what I do. I've been in medicine for a long time. Anybody that may have autism, anywhere that might have like any issues of speech impediment, Asperger's, no matter what it is, I do not talk to them like they have an issue. I talk to them like I'm talking to you guys right now. What am I saying that for? When that kid was talking, he had our attention. And while that kid was talking, we treated him like he was the other people that were talking. Let me quit saying kid, because when you're 17, 18, 19, I'm not going to sit there and call you a kid no more. I mean, you pretty much biologically, you went through puberty and all that. Biologically, you went into adulthood. Now, mentally, you may not be, but what am I saying this for? Is that just because that kid had a speech impediment does not mean that he should not have been met with the same type of opposition that the rest of you kids did. See what I'm saying? Y'all try to sit there and deflect to the fact, oh, they're making fun of a kid that has a speech impediment. No, nobody was not. We were giving him the same type of opposition that we gave you guys. If we disagree with it, we let him know. And y'all tried to sit there and patty cake. Oh, they shouldn't respond like that to him. Get out of here. This is reality right here. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing me that you guys are so comfortable with little kids being taught soft porn, but then you try to deflect back to the fact that, oh man, they said, no, don't do that. And the last thing I'm going to say right here before we end the show is this. It amazes me that when truth and righteousness go forward like this, that you catch this much hate. A lot of people that were in favor of not having this nonsense brought to our schools, they got caught with a whole bunch of hate. There were white people that applauded what I did and what I said. They patted me on the back. Police officers, I'm not going to say their name. They patted me on the back. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for standing up. They got hate from the black community. I got hate from the black community. But you know what? Ask me if I care. Call me Uncle Tom all day long. I do not care. I don't live my life for no black person. I don't live my life for the black community. I don't live my life for a white person. I don't live my life for the white community. I live my life for God, plain and simple. And if God is about truth and righteousness, there I am going to be as well. Truth and righteousness has no color. When it comes down to it, it's not me you're hating. When I bring this truth, I speak. It's the truth that you hate. It's not me that you hate when I bring forth righteousness. It is indeed the righteousness that you hate. So white folks, the ones that applauded me, the ones that supported me, do me a favor. Do not feel bad. Don't hesitate to do it again. Don't let nobody make you feel bad about supporting me in what I'm saying and in what I'm doing. Because when you are supporting me, you're not supporting Ty the black man. You are supporting what Ty is talking about. You are supporting what Ty is speaking about, and that's truth and righteousness. And truth and righteousness knows no color. And I'll say it again. Anytime I go and speak anywhere, if I have you guys, your applause, your praises, I want you to have it in your head. I'm not praising and standing up and supporting a black man. I'm standing up for a man that's speaking truth and righteousness. Folks sitting there celebrating your success, but then you got people from the community turn around and hating on it. I will never stop doing what I'm doing, especially when I know what the consequences are. We want to know why? I am a byproduct. I am a byproduct of what you can do and what you can achieve when you don't buy into this nonsense that they're trying to sell. I'm not supposed to be doing the things that I am right now, according to this stuff that's going on in our nation right now. You have the opportunities, if you listen to me, to do whatever you want to. And please, please, please tell your children the same thing. White children, black children, Asian children, Hispanic children, Latino children, Russian children. Make sure you tell your children that no matter what type of things is going on in this world right now, make their focus be about what they are going to do in the future, and don't make their focus on this stuff that's going on right now. Because guess what? That what you focus on, you go towards. If we keep on talking about nothing but race, then race will remain the issue. Talking about races but not talking about solutions. How about we start talking about races and just talk about nothing but solutions? Let's talk about solutions. Solutions. Folks, I hope and pray that every last one of you guys have food, shelter, and clothing. And most of all, I hope and pray every last one of you guys are in great health. God bless you all through Jesus.